I saw a video of a person that was like, I love Pokelawls, going in and like following other streamers, and then they would say,
"Oh,
I love Pokelawls."
Yeah.
I was like, man, that's
guy.
Thanks for.
Like, I had to get my viewers.
Crazy viewer of mine. He also streamed.
Oh,
hello.
Hi. That's great. That was hilarious.
He streamed like my name on paper for 5 hours straight.
Sup, fam?
That's insane. Are we starting?
So, yeah, we're starting.
Oh, okay.
FYI.
Hi.
Oh, hey, we're starting.
Oh, hello.
Oh, we're starting.
So, first of all, congratulations, because you're in here and you're not outside. Round of applause.
Oh yeah, that line's intense.
So, that's great.
You made it.
Thanks for coming. This is the How to Stream VR on Twitch panel, so if you were in the wrong room, first of all, you suck. Second of all, door's there. But if you're in the right spot, I have a ton of people here, a bunch of experts. They stream a lot of VR. I'm Lizzie. I'm the head of marketing at Vreal. We're working on a way to stream VR in VR, headset to headset. It's the future. It's super rad. But the expert that can talk to you about that is Allie. So I'm going to start off by introducing you to her. She's a product manager at Vreal.
Hi. Hello.
And then next to her, we've got Nikki, or Stealth Shampoo.
DJ Nikki.
He also has some really cool pants on.
Oh yeah, and you guys can't even see him. I gotta take this chance to
Like, you have to yeah, these pants are rad. Right?
Space pants.
I wasn't lying. He does like VR speedruns and is also a shoutcaster for some VR tournaments.
How do you do a VR speedrun? Just
real fast, as fast as possible.
Lots of sweating.
You can be a VR speedrunner, man. That's pretty good.
It's delicious. And then this VR guy, Pokelawls.
Oh, hey. Hi.
May have heard of him.
I don't know who this guy is.
Just one of the biggest VR streamers.
Not Pokemon.
Yeah. And then we got Rob, who is a host and producer for VR Power Hour at Machinima. So you totally check that out. When do you guys air?
10 a.m. Pacific time.
Every day?
Weekdays.
Weekdays.
Yeah.
Right on. So the way I moderate panels is a little differently than what you guys might be used to. I like to actually take notes as people are talking instead of just like throwing slides up and like boring everyone. So hopefully you guys like that format. But we're going to go ahead and get kicked off. So why make VR content? I would argue that it's not for the VR face that you inevitably get. The like red lines, the terrible hair, your makeup comes off. At least my makeup comes off. So I'm going to actually ask these lovely people why they like to make VR content. What kind of stuff do they make?
Well, I'll go first. I do a lot of VR shoutcasting, so there is a competitive VR scene developing right now, and it's much, much easier to get into than things like Fortnite, CSGO, games that are heavily saturated with other content creators. VR is a really nice space to do whatever you want, blaze a new path. So I think that's one of the coolest parts of creating VR content. It's also something that not a lot of people have seen before. It makes a good talking point. Gets you on panels.
Yeah. Also, it's like VR is just a new thing. Like it's a new medium, just like Justin TV was a new medium. So it's just starting out. It's growing. There's a lot of very like dedicated VR lovers. So it's a good place to start now because you're paving the way. Like you're going to be one of the like founding Twitch streamers. If you start streaming VR now, like you're in for the beginning, and VR is only going to grow from here. It's not like everyone's saying, oh, VR is going to die. Like, no, it's not. It's not going away. Companies aren't giving up on it. It's still going strong.
Yeah. It's only going to get bigger.
For me, it's just the immersion. When you like put on that headset the first time, you're like, this is insane that this already exists because it feels so like futuristic. But so after that, it was just sort of like, how do we share this with people? How do we make this fun and accessible? Because it's still kind of pricey to get into a headset. So yeah, we just really wanted to make that accessible and fun.
For me, I like streaming IRL, but I don't like going outside. So I realized
it's dangerous out there.
Some VR games feel like going outside and socializing, and you can stream at the same time. So you just mix those together, and it works really well. I feel it's like going outside, but not. You can wear no pants. It's great.
Now, of course, we could talk about this, but I wanted to show off some content that you can make in virtual reality. It's using a technology called mixed reality, using a software called Live. We're going to show you guys a video of that coming up in a moment. I was just flown out to Missouri for this new company that I'm talking about for the first time ever. No one has heard about this before, Splitverse. And I get to show you guys their content first here live on this panel. And if you have an insane amount of money, you could do something like this too.
Full render in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
We'll have the tech guy get that on screen in a second.
The video. Rad.
Mixed reality is the concept of putting someone's physical body into a virtual space. So instead of, for example, you're playing a shooting game and seeing from their first person view where they're, knocking their head around, all that can be a little nauseating for the viewers. When you show off mixed reality, you see the person's body in third person, and you can actually see what they're doing with their arms, their legs, their head. And it's a more difficult, honestly, but a very high production, very clean way to show off a VR experience in the context in which people are experiencing things. So if they need to duck under a laser or something, instead of seeing that in first person, you see it in third.
Full render in 5, 4.
It'll be up in a second, huh? Huh, guys?
So much better in VR. There we go.
No, showing desktop now.
What you guys have for lunch?
I say personally, I like the aspect of streaming the first person for the viewer.
Yeah, for some games it is better. Some could argue shooters, of course. There's this game Sprint Vector. It's a VR running and parkour game. Stream that in first person.
If you're a streamer, being able to switch between the two is like a really good thing.
Yeah.
I'd say.
Yeah, having the option. Whenever we do like shooter games with mixed, it looks cool, but then often in chat people will be like, "Hey, can we see the first person?" Because they want to look down your scope instead of just seeing what's right around you. But
So there is a place for first person virtual reality. Mixed reality is just one way to do it. First person is much easier.
Someone.
Yeah, so I'll just repeat that for you. So it does show the third person view of you yourself. Actually, what Vreal does is you can also show a rendition of you as a panda in virtual reality. But we'll get to that in a second. But you can do either. You can show your own physical body in virtual reality and the context of what you're doing, or you can show a panda for your own custom avatar. I'm sure you know a lot about avatars.
yeah.
It's not even showing.
It makes sense once you see it, but basically, since the computer knows in virtual space like where the headset is and where the hands are, you can actually add a third controller and tether it to a camera, and then the camera can place you in virtual space, especially if you're on like a green screen, and then you pull out the green screen and it gives you like a foreground layer and a background layer and an alpha, and then you smash them all together, and what the camera sees is the virtual world, even though you're standing in a green room. So again, it makes more sense once you see it. But
Basically, it'd just be like a scene on OBS if you guys all stream and stuff, right? It's just
Yeah.
the chat stuff we'll get to too. We have some good
Yeah.
stuff.
We'll have time for questions. So we're getting a video guy working on the video stuff. So that'll happen in a bit. But in the meantime, how about we move on to the next topic? If you want to talk about... we talked a little bit about setups and stuff and like why you like stream VR. If you guys have any thoughts on like specific software you use, like how do you look at Twitch chat while you're got the headset on, that kind of thing?
I'll just start because yes, also
Yeah.
there's a really good program called Overdrop. Although the guy stopped working on it for like months, I kind of wish he came back and made a better one. If any devs are out there, make a chat program. We need one.
Right.
But Overdrop's a really good one. There was a free version on it on a GitHub somewhere, but I would just get the Overdrop version. Basically, it just you have your chat window on your computer, and Overdrop lets you put the chat window to anywhere. You can place it under your hand on the controller. So let's say you turn your controller around, the chat will be right there. So it's a really good way to see chat.
And this works for any window, whether it be if you want to see your concurrent viewers or alerts. You can put any window that you can bring up on your PC on Overdrop and then actually see it either on your hand or, for example, Beat Saber. I don't know if you guys are familiar with literally the largest VR game of all time. It's sick. It's actually here on the show floor somewhere. But in that game, you're always facing forward, so you can actually place the chat right above you, so you can look up and on slow parts of songs respond to your viewers.
We've used it for in-headset teleprompter before, just because you can just pop any window you want, and that way. We were trying something where we were like semi-scripted, so we were like reading, and it didn't work, and we were like, we need something, and we found OVR Drop.
You can put any program on, just not only chat, for example. You could have it so you can have your subs and donations pop up too. Personally, I don't like having anything but chat in VR because I feel like it takes away from the immersion if you're like, hey, thanks for the sub and donation. Oh, what's up? I don't know. Personally, I just like the chat only. That's me.
Yeah, that's one thing you should do is you should treat virtual reality streaming more similar to a performance, in my opinion. Like, say, if someone was playing guitar or singing, you wouldn't expect them to say in the middle of a song, hey, Todd, thanks for the $5 donation. So you should set that community expectation that, hey, I'm being shot at right now. I got to duck behind cover, and after this round, I'll get to your donations. That is, more important to just not get shot in the virtual head.
Yeah.
For sure. Allie, do you want to talk a bit about what Vreal does?
Yeah, so Vreal is a streaming app. Right now, we're actually still working on the live component of it. So the way it works is basically a streamer would launch into VR games that they want to stream through our app, and anyone that is watching their stream that has a VR headset can actually watch in VR with them. And we literally put them in the game.
Like you're an avatar. So
Yeah.
I'm like a robot.
You're like an entity in the game. But
Mouth movement.
the
and
streamer
everything.
actually can't see you. So you can kind of just do whatever you want. You can draw, you can spawn cameras, take selfies, screenshots, all that.
Yeah.
But we are actually working on the live component of it still. And that's kind of why we're here. We would love to work with streamers on developing those tools like Twitch chat, like the things that are important to you guys, so that we can make sure that we get all the best tools for you to stream.
And this is a lot of software. This might sound intimidating. You can literally plug in a VR headset and just stream from the mirror, stream from your first-person perspective. That's a great way to start, and then you can start adding all this other complicated stuff on top of that. Another software that I like to use is Live. It's a mixed reality software. There's other kinds out there, Mixcast and all that, but I prefer Live. It's the thing I was talking about where it places your virtual environment around a physical, real body. And that can show a lot of cool stuff.
There's also a really, really good plugin. I think it's uploaded onto OBS's website, the forums. It's a plugin someone made for OBS directly where it just takes your VR as a source, pretty much. So you don't need to mirror it on it's Open VR Input or Open Input VR. Just Google that and you'll find it. It's a really good tool for VR streaming. There needs to be a better a better guide out there, I'd say. There's so many hidden things out there to get, and once you have it all, it makes streaming a lot easier with VR.
Yeah, for sure. Sorry we're having some technical issues, guys. This presentation was going to be super fun. But what we may do is actually I'll just put up some notes and we'll tweet out the slides later so you guys can get some notes, and we'll tweet out the videos too.
That's at Vreal Official, right?
At Vreal Official. I swear
Yes.
that wasn't planned.
The plugs. It's not like I'm a Vreal ambassador or anything. So,
Hey, look, yay! It's because
we got it.
something.
all right. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to show you guys the world premiere of this new company, Splitverse.
Well, hopefully.
Hopefully.
I also have a video of a company I'm starting too.
Might just have to post that
Sick.
later.
I didn't know you were starting a company.
It was this.
You just thought of it right now.
No.
Here we go.
Hey, we did it.
This is mixed reality.
3, 2, 1.
Who here's played Beat Saber before? Yes, all the time. So good.
So that's just a new trailer. Splitverse. You guys can follow them on Twitter, find them on all social media now, and they do high quality mixed reality productions. Shout out to VR Dude. He is actually hosting live from their studio weekly shows, and that's an example of mixed reality. You see his physical body and what's going on around him. Of course, there were elements of first person in there when you saw straight through the visor what was going on. That player is actually Logan. He's number 5 in the world at Beat Saber. Guy's an absolute maniac. Oh, for now. If any of you guys want to go try your hand and beat him on that song, I can't play it.
Yeah,
I get it. Beat him.
love it.
Beat Saber. I didn't even mean to make that pun.
I also want to show you guys what Rob and his team over at Machinima are working on.
Yeah, when I saw that video, it was so badass. I was like, well, can I just show you our theme song that uses mixed reality?
This is a very serious video, so just like put on your somber faces for a second.
Just gives you a vibe of the kind of stuff we do.
Super serious.
So, you know, stuff like that. We just like to have fun and goof off, and that's our theme song.
It's catchy.
I think Pokelawls, you gave me like a little clip.
Yeah,
you wanted me to show of like your channel
we're working on in my team.
Right on.
What is this?
What is this?
I'm not a gnome.
I think you put the wrong video. I don't know what this is.
I'm a gnome, and you've been no.
I'm so sorry. I really.
I'd never seen that video before.
It was.
Huh.
All right, panel's over.
Okay, sorry. Just kidding. Okay, cool.
Someone's getting fired tomorrow.
Yeah, someone from
Or
your new company.
promoted.
Yeah.
That video was great. So, quick question for the panel. There's tons of VR headsets out there. What are your faves? What are your favorite VR games to play? What do you recommend?
I started with the Vive, the original Vive, and then the Vive Pro came out, and it got a lot of hate from some people, like a lot of review people.
Really?
I love it. I don't know. I love my Vive Pro.
Right on.
I stick with the Vive Pro.
Who has a Vive or a Vive Pro?
Oh, wow.
All
Wow.
you people are.
How many have an
amazing.
Oculus? Wow.
Also good.
Nice,
Also
yeah.
good headset.
Yeah, Vive's probably my favorite. We have a Vive, Oculus, and mixed reality, well, and PlayStation. And they all have their strengths. Obviously, the controllers on the Oculus are
So much better.
are the best.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
The Vive controllers, I don't know if it's just me, but like I've had 2 pairs. If you use it for a lot, they just.
The thumb pads.
I think the thumb pads are stuck together with just basic glue. Like,
They're actually trash.
what's the elementary school glue?
Elmer's glue, yeah. That's what they use.
I think it's stuck together. Sorry, HTC, don't hate me.
Yeah,
But I don't know.
Too late.
they're pretty easy to repair, is my understanding.
Yeah.
But at least with just the trackpads. The mixed reality. What's nice is the Windows mixed reality, not to be confused with the mixed reality shooting. Anyway, those are nice in that you don't need like lighthouses or anything. They're inside out tracking, so you just kind of plug and play. But yeah, I think Vive is ultimately the one I always go back to for me.
Cool.
And the controllers, the Vive controllers are so heavy for Beat Saber. If you ever played Beat Saber on Oculus after you've played Vive, it's actually insane how different it is. It's like
Wrist flicks are so much easier.
I was going to ask you, as doing like speedrunner, do you have like a preference?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. The Rift.
Yeah.
The Rift controllers are just a lot lighter.
Way better.
It's harder to use the grip buttons on the Vive. And if any of you guys want to talk afterwards about headsets, I own 4 different headsets. My personal favorite is
forgot
the
the
Oculus
hair
Rift.
4 different headsets.
Didn't forget. It was just delayed.
Okay.
The Oculus Rift is my personal favorite. Of course, it's a little bit harder to do mixed reality with because the Vive has Vibe pucks. They're these little tracking. They literally look like hockey pucks that you can stick on a camera so you can do movement. With the Oculus, it's a little bit harder. You have to get a 3rd controller. But the Oculus Rift, it's just a lighter headset. The controllers are real nice. They have sent me free Rifts, but I overall was converted from Vive over to Rift content.
Yeah, I'm also a Rift person, mostly just because it's a lighter headset. I just find it easier to wear for longer periods of time. Also, in terms of games, I really love Gorn. So much fun.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever played Gorn.
Oh yeah, what
before.
games do you guys love?
Yeah.
Beat Saber, obviously.
Beat Saber's one of the best ones to like for your first VR game. Just do Beat Saber. You can just jump right in and get into it. I really like Super Hot in VR. Like I played it first in VR, and then when I learned there was a pancake version, I was like, really? Because it just seems so perfect for you grab the guns. It's a game where it's a shooter, single person. But time only moves if you move. So if you freeze, time stops, and then you can like slowly like take guns out of people's hands.
Have you had a friend try it? Like a random friend try it? And for me, she did not understand the concept of not moving just stops everybody. She just kept moving the whole time.
See,
She was trying to speedrun it.
even though time stops when you stop, that means time also moves when you move. And as a speedrunner, you want to do things quickly. So if you were to watch me play Super Hot and try to speedrun it,
It's insane.
I am constantly like bobbing my head around trying to get time to fast forward so an enemy approaches closer or so I can get to the next level. But Super Hot's got to be one of my favorite. Echo Combat is coming out soon, made by the developers Ready at Dawn. Stormlands is coming out soon, made by Insomniac. You guys might know them for Spider-Man, which came out. Super high quality VR games. One thing that's cool about both those games I just mentioned is that in some VR games you only have hands or controllers, but in Stormlands and Echo Combat you can actually look down and see a virtual body, and you're not actually tracked. It uses IK, inverse kinematics, I think is the word. I didn't just like make that up. Inverse
sounded
kinematics.
impressive.
You actually like step around and you can actually see your legs move based on ideas that they've gotten from actual human movement. But those have got to be my top two right now. Pavlov, which is basically CSGO in VR, has the weapon economy, has armor, bomb diffusing, all that stuff. Trouble in Terrorist Town is a mod for Pavlov, if you guys know that. Yeah. There's a lot of silly things you can do, hide and seek in Pavlov. So those got to be my top three right now.
If you guys haven't checked out Population 1, it's kind of like a battle royale game coming to VR multiplayer.
It's in beta right now. You can sign up on their website.
Yeah.
There's a new game called War Dust also just came out. It's actually really fun. It's like a scuffed Battlefield. It's great.
Oh, so scuffed, dude.
so
I was playing War Dust the other day. Imagine Battlefield.
Sorry if a dev's here. I'm so sorry.
I was playing. I'm backing him up on this. I was playing War Dust the other day, and this guy climbed a 5-foot pillar. And in Battlefield, you can pull a parachute. Well, he climbed this 5-foot pillar. He's barely like above my head, and he just takes off. He pulls a parachute and just goes flying across the map. And that's a mechanic in the game that pro players are using, climbing on lampposts and just flying across the world. VR is still really early. It's an early access game. And there's crazy stuff like
the best
that going on.
part,
It's so freaking cool.
the best part about it is, even if you're not in a squad with somebody and just some random guys on your team next to you, you can talk to them like, "Yo, what's up, man?"
Yeah.
It's just like, "Hey."
You know, I did that. I was like, "Yo, what's up, man?" He got hit by a flying tank. Tank came out of nowhere, just smashed the guy. Someone like ran into a wall. The physics broke. Guy got smashed.
I was on a roof with this guy, and he asked me, "Hey, how do you do your parachute?" I'm like, "Oh, you just run off with your hands down." And he just ran straight down. It was just seeing it in VR is something you can't have on PC gaming or just normal gaming, whatever.
Yeah, there's a lot of room for VR comedy as well as like serious Battlefield, like check my 6, all that stuff, and then there's pushing people off buildings.
Brilliant.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
trolling in VR is great.
Cool. Let's go on to the next one. Oh yeah, let's talk setups. So VR, you need some space. What do you guys prefer? What do you have set up in your place? Is it
When I
like
started, I had those the sensors on top of like just boxes,
just like cardboard boxes?
and it fell once. And I bought a new one, and then
no.
I just advise everyone just buy a tripod. It's on Amazon.
Just buy one,
Really
yeah.
worth it. Basic tripods, 2 of them.
To attach like lighthouses.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're talking about the Vive sensors.
The sensors.
Yeah.
For Vive, but it's
Yeah.
Oculus and it's different. I don't know. Sorry. My bad.
What about you, Nikki?
My setup is super jank. At home, I have a green screen taped to a wall, and then that's how I do mixed reality. There are also depth sensing cameras out there, so the Xbox Kinect is actually super good, and it's super cheap. You can find them anywhere. People didn't want to use them. You can just get them from one of your friends who never used it. If you guys were actually at the Discord party last night, the cameras that they have on the walls are Xbox Kinects, but those use depth sensing technology. What's cool about that is you compare it with the green screen. So the split-verse video you guys just saw, I was in a giant green screen box, which you probably can't build at home. So what you can do is put up one single green screen, and when you move within that area, it looks pretty crisp. But you'll still have other walls on the outside you might move out to occasionally, and that's where the depth sensing technology comes in. You can mask that stuff out with the Xbox Connect and using the Live software, which is a little more complicated than I can talk about right now. But if you guys want to know more about it, I can talk later. And also the developers of that stuff are here at TwitchCon, and I can introduce you.
Right on.
Do you want to talk about your setup?
So since VR Power Hour, we're part of Machinima, which is like a full-on studio. We kind of have a unique setup where like a lot of like the software processing that most streamers would do, we break out into production hardware. So we have an Ultimate to do our green screen. We have a machine that just takes 4K video and then splits the quads to do the... because when you're doing mixed reality, basically you're getting... it takes your video and gives you 4 boxes. It gives you the background, an alpha channel, and the foreground, and the player, and then smushes them all together. So we kind of break out all that stuff and run it through some professional like Blackmagic devices, and it works out pretty nice. And we have like a whole like 12 by 12 green green screen room with like the curved walls. And then for our Vive, that's where our Vive lives, and then our Oculus is kind of out in our kind of shooting area, so we can play against each other. And then we have a whole crew because it's a studio, so we have a camera guy who's like walking around, moving the camera the whole time. So we're really lucky. It ends up we think looking really good, and it's just a really fun way to use the resources of the company to make just
like the opposite of
silly.
me.
Yeah.
I know, same. I was like, my setup is a Rift in front of my computer.
Pretty much the same.
And most of you guys are probably going to have something like that, right?
And
you don't need a
doesn't
green
have to be
screen.
fancy. Like it doesn't have to be a green screen. Like shit, you don't even have to stand. Sorry, I just. You don't even have to. You don't have to be a standing setup. Like you can be sitting and streaming at the same time. You don't have to be standing in VR. That's a common misconception. You can actually do seated games as well.
Yeah.
And there's software for streaming mixed without a green screen too.
With the depth sensing cameras.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you actually, it doesn't look as good. When you move, you'll see trails of the real world merging with the virtual. But you can just have a depth sensing camera, an Xbox Connect. You can get one from GameStop for like $40 if you really need one. And you can stream mixed reality without any kind of green screen. It does require pretty decent lighting, so your room's got to be a little bright. But if you just want to start streaming VR, literally, as soon as you get home, you get yourself your headset of choice, make yourself some space, and then download OVR Drop. And that's all you need to do to just get started. You can add all the other stuff later on.
Yeah, I think you'd be surprised too. A lot of PCs that can do streaming can also do VR. I mean, MinSpec is actually not that like hardcore for VR. So if it's something you want to get into,
then maybe
highly
it's not.
recommend looking into it.
For sure. Cool. Yeah, so I think we talked a bit about mixed reality. Was there anything else you wanted to bring up for people who wanted to get into that, or
Yeah, download Live.
pretty well covered it? I don't know.
Live is the software that people use to composite themselves in mixed reality. It's my personal favorite one.
Yeah.
And they have a super active community. VR is really new, so you might have a hard time Googling some things, but there are a lot of people out there willing to help you out who are experts in the field. Mm-hmm. So Live has a Discord. You can always join these VR communities. They're very small right now. And you guys can get your questions answered out there.
Yeah. Also, Vreal has a Discord as well. Discord.gg/Vreal. We are always in there and willing to answer questions or find answers for you. Always down to help VR streamers get set up.
Yeah. Cool. I think we're nearing the end and going to open for questions. So if you guys want to start thinking about what you want to ask us, one last question for the panelists. Is there anything we haven't covered that you feel like people should know about like, getting into streaming, getting their people into VR? What do you think?
I want to talk a little bit about the market of VR right now. You're not going to get famous streaming budget cuts, or Beat Saber is pretty big right now. Onward's pretty big. But VR chat also is a pretty big game, but you're not going to be...
Just be an anime girl and stare at a mirror all day.
There you go.
Done and
Headset,
done.
anime girl. Super easy. And you can actually put your own models into VR chat. So you can be any anime girl you want. Pick your... What do they call them?
Anything you want to.
You call them waifus?
No Knuckles.
Knuckles. That's right. That's right. I remember that guy. From Sonic. Not any variation of him.
Also, kind of going back to what you said earlier about thinking of it as like a performance, I do think with VR, it's easy to really get sucked in the world because you're in this whole different world. But it's important to really push yourself to perform a bit and interact with your chat. We kind of cheat that. We usually have at least 2 people streaming at a time. So you have one person hanging out in chat and like, hey, so-and-so says you probably should have hit that. And then, so that way you can get that interaction, but you really need to pump up the energy just because it's so easy to let 15 minutes go by without saying a word. And you just have to watch out for that.
Yeah. Also, if you don't own VR and you're interested in trying it, Vreal is actually set up on the show floor in the education zone. So if you want to give it a shot, we also have a meeting space for like one-on-one demos of Vreal or to just jam about VR. Like we're always just down to talk about VR in general. It's not just about Vreal.
Yeah, for sure. Cool. You guys are rad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyone have
you
any
guys too.
questions,
You guys are
or-
awesome too. Do you guys have any questions? If you want, I think there's a mic over here.
Yeah, hop over to the microphones
Yeah, so that people
on the
can
aisles
hear
here,
you.
and we'll
Oh yeah, there's 2.
answer anything you guys need.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No holds barred.
questions. I love questions. Question time is so fun.
Hey guys, my name's Chris, aka CDM on Twitch, and my question for you, the panel, is for the VR equipment as far as streaming setup. Is it more processing workload, or is it like a graphics card workload?
I would say you just need a decent CPU, like not the highest end, but a good end, top end one. But it's mostly on the graphic card, I would say.
Okay, and so with all this mixed reality that you're talking about too, is that going to be on the same end of graphics cards? So if you have like a 1080i or one of the new 2080s, is a single graphics card going to be like handle that workload fine?
Yeah, I've definitely done mixed reality on just a 1080. A 1080 Ti would be plenty to be able to composite with Live, because what it does is it takes multiple layers of what you're doing and then your real self. So that's a lot of extra power, but you could definitely run this on a 1080. Streaming is CPU based, and then VR is mostly GPU based. I use a dual PC setup, which obviously will add a couple more complications because 2 PCs, 2 points of failure. Yeah. But 1080 with decent CPU, you should be able to get it done.
Okay.
980 works too. I use that at work all the time, and it's not a problem.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for the question. Sure. Yeah.
Isaac, aka Fitz, for streaming with headsets and glasses, what tips do you have?
Bruh.
Honestly, you can use the Vive pretty easily with your glasses still on. I
How bad
just
is
take
that?
mine off usually.
Yeah, how
but-
bad is your eyesight? 'Cause
Yeah, it depends on your eyes.
Yeah.
pretty bad.
If it's real bad, then you might want to try getting a Vive, and you can usually fit it over. Actually, it's sometimes with the Rift as well. I think your glasses might be able to fit in the Rift.
You can get custom lenses too that you like pop into the headset, and so you won't need your glasses.
I'll see. He actually had a helpful answer. I just like force it over.
On the Vive too, there are these little rings on the side. It's where the strap is held. You can pop those out and then actually roll the monitors or the lenses out, and it'll fit your glasses in there. The Vive is probably the most comfortable thing with I don't wear glasses, but from what I hear, it's the headset to use with glasses.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Hi, I'm Roger Garcia. I have 2 questions. One of them is, as part of a network, we have 15 VRs that we're planning to create a network with a studio. Are you all part of any networks? Are you planning to create a network together, or are you looking for those partnerships? How do you go about them? And then 2, I was trying to upload some Beat Saber mixed reality onto Twitch, and it was catching, and Instagram, all these things were catching the copyright from the audio. How do you deal with that? And do we have a clear answer for the community as in the fair use?
Yeah, I can answer the second question. Disclaimer: I'm not a lawyer, so
Really?
don't get mad at me for that. Yeah. The guy wearing headphones and space pants isn't a lawyer. But for Beat Saber, there are 11 original songs, which should be good to use. They use them during arcade tournaments, and those songs are licensed to arcades when they show that publicly. As far as the custom songs go, that's the wild, wild west. Some of them will get striked on Twitch. Some of them won't. Some of them will get muted. Some of them won't. I did at Live headquarters, I had a custom song tournament with one of the Live developers, and some of those songs got muted on the VOD and some of them didn't. So it's honestly just it's the Wild West out there. People make maps for whatever they want. It doesn't matter. They don't ask for permission or anything.
Yeah, it's better to just use the songs that are in the actual game, not the ones that you get from mods, because odds are you're gonna get muted, and I definitely do not recommend doing that if you don't want to risk
Just do it.
your channel.
I'm with him on
We're
this.
on that camp.
But your first question was about like networks for like other VR streamers and stuff.
Right, creating one.
Yeah.
We kind of already have a network going. I mean, we have a lot of streamers and content creators in the like Vreal community, and we're trying to bring more together. So feel free to join our Discord. I mean, we're not like doing like organized scheduled streaming or anything, but
Yet.
I mean, it's a
Maybe
good place
one day.
to. I mean, we've introduced a lot of VR streamers to each other, so that's I don't know.
It's a good place to start.
It's like that's a good, yeah.
Are you all part of any networks, or did you use that to leverage? Or
I'm loosely part of a lot of different VR communities. They're the professional VR players who make money playing VR. The Onward Cup was $60,000 held here last month. And then there's Sprint Vector, the different Servios games. I'm sure there's the VR chat community. As far as like actual networks, like, oh yeah, this is a stream team, if that's what you mean. There aren't really VR stream teams out there, but the VR streamers all know each other and will help each other out.
I'm just kidding.
I'm with you on that one.
Yeah, we're not part of any like official networks, but we just like search for new VR streamers on Twitch and find people and just have them play with us. Like we've played with Rage Sack and people like that. Just like, hey, do you want to play Standout? And he's like, sure.
Shout out to Rage Sack.
Yeah,
That guy is like over 1,000 hours in Standout.
dude, Rage Sack.
Guy's a maniac.
And he, if you've seen Rage Sack, you've probably seen his Beat Saber where he made it into Darth Maul. Like he uses like a stick to like make it like Darth Maul, and then he just.
It's incredibly dangerous.
Like, he goes wild. It's crazy. But yeah, we met him a while ago and just like played Standout with him, and then so yeah, if you find us on Discord and hang out and we'll squat up on stream. Happy to do it.
Thank you all very much.
Yeah, cool.
Thank you.
Right over here.
Hi, I'm Drake. I run a YouTube channel called Rejected Shotgun, and I was really interested in creating probably the most comfortable VR experience for myself while also streaming on Twitch. You know, getting 90 frames per second would be ideal. All obviously very difficult. Would it be wise to run a dual PC setup if you're trying to keep the experience comfortable for yourself and also really high quality for the viewers as well? Would you want to probably run a dual PC setup, and if so, what kind of specs would you be looking for to get a really smooth experience?
It's still very new, but the 2080 Ti. Am I saying that right? 2080. I don't know how to say it. 2080.
Yeah.
The 2080 Ti has NVENC encoding separate on the card, so you can stream off that really well, and it does VR really well. I use a 2080 Ti, and it's actually insane how good it is compared to like a dual PC setup for a single PC. So I think maybe that could, like if you're not looking to get a dual PC, a single PC with a 2080 is good. I don't have experience with a dual PC though. I heard it's pretty good.
Yeah, I use a dual PC setup.
It's probably the best for streaming. But
my streaming PC has an i7 4700. That's a streaming PC, and it's very CPU heavy. And it has a 960 GPU in it. You don't even need that in there. The gaming PC has a 1080 and just a normal 1080 with a 7700K i7. And everything runs totally fine. I have an AverMedia capture card in the streaming PC. Goes in there, streams out from there, and it's all good. It's actually not. It's fire and forget. I mean, once you set it up once, you plug all the HDMI cords in, then you're all good to go.
Thank you.
Yeah. Cool.
Howdy, I'm Theo. I'm an engineer at Twitch. I was wondering how you guys feel about the move towards mobile VR, with companies like Oculus losing their head of PC VR and fully doubling down on projects like the Santa Monica Quest and Oculus Go. Have you guys seen anybody succeeding in streaming with these mobile platforms? And if so or if not, how do you feel that impacts the future of streaming in VR?
Honestly, I have not seen many people streaming mobile VR.
Many or any? I haven't seen.
I don't think I've seen a single.
It's hard to output. It's hard to get the POV. Like there's an app called the Visor you can get, and you have to like put the Oculus Go in developer mode, and then you can it does have wireless. It can connect to a PC that then has OBS or whatever. But even that was like the two circles version. You have to. The Oculus Go though did just add like a Chromecast or at least a cast to your phone or tablet. but we haven't tested that because it just happened. So it really depends, from my point of view, on how if you can output it and if you can capture that POV in a way that's smooth and streamable.
Yeah. I was being told by one of my friends that streaming from the Oculus Go is very difficult, but with the Oculus Quest coming out, I actually got to use it at Oculus Connect 5. We'll see if that thing has enough power to output to something and then actually get content off of that. The Oculus Quest was fantastic, but as far as streaming from the Go, I heard he had a lot of problems doing that.
I don't see the point. Personally,
I'm with you.
I don't get it.
If there's no Rift 2.
Yeah. So the news is, if you guys didn't hear, the head of Oculus PC, I forget his name right now, did just leave the company. And so people are concerned about no Rift 2 for PC coming out, which of course the PC will power more powerful VR experiences. In that case, Valve save us.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thanks for the question.
I just wish I'm irritated with the whole PlayStation VR locking out a lot of the games right now. And it's it makes me so frustrated as a streamer because I don't want to use a PSVR. It's just I don't want to. If I have the better stuff,
they're comfy. But
but
as a developer, I'd like to argue that for a second. It's the same thing that I've been hearing from Oculus for a long time, is that they have exclusivity. They're not just buying these games so they won't exist other places. They're buying them so they'll exist, period. A lot of the games that are PSVR exclusive wouldn't have been made for VR ever if it wasn't for the money that Sony put into them.
I understand
Oculus
that
has
too.
poured over $500 million into third-party software development for VR platforms. I think that exclusives are critical simply to get the ball rolling in software, and there's never been a successful platform in the history of hardware or software that didn't have exclusives at the beginning of its lineup.
Yeah, if you look at Oculus Studios games right now, games like Defector, games like Echo Combat, the ones that are only available on the Rift, you can play them with Revive, which is Vive software to play Rift games. But I hear the developer left that and works at Epic Games now. But those games are such a tier of quality above anything else. I've heard months ago that the money you can make back if you're just an indie dev studio is $300,000. You can put $300,000 in your VR game and expect to make that back. So that puts a limit on the quality of VR game that you can make. But with Oculus Studios pouring all this money into these games, they can just achieve another tier. So it does suck that not everyone can play it, but then where would the money come from?
Exactly.
So
And a lot of the titles still make it across. Look at Superhot, which was originally funded entirely by Oculus, and they still allowed it to make it cross-platform. I think that this fund, or any source of funding for a new field that's still trying to exist, is so important. And I know that all the VR devs that I'm close friends with would not be able to be VR devs, period, if it wasn't for the money coming in through these exclusive deals.
Yeah, it's a great point. How about we get another question from right here?
Chris. So hi, my name is Chris. I run a VR studio named Glitch with 2 eyes. I'm currently on a mission to bring VR to the mass market. I'm just curious to know, right now we're building a prototype, which is the biggest mixed reality arena for 12 VR players, specifically to build a streaming show similar to like Tron / The Hunger Games, but for real. And I'm curious to know if you guys see a future where you would practice at home, but then get out of your house to go practice into an arena and potentially play in these larger scale multiplayer arena-based games.
Yeah, I think that's cool. It's kind of like esports kind of a thing where you have like big tournaments and then everyone's separate. Yeah, I think that could be super cool.
Yeah, I actually agree too. I would definitely be down for that.
Here's the thing right now. I do a lot of VR esports. I'm a VR esports shoutcaster. And when people play at home, they're very comfortable with their setups. They have their own controllers, their own headset, their own like fan running and all that stuff, carpet. But coming out to these events, even just using an Oculus Rift, 2 controllers and 2 sensors, people are really running into problems there already. And from what I find with these live events, I haven't been to a live VR competitive event that ran 100% perfectly. There's always some issue with like, this guy's graphics card died. This person is running on a 1060 and this person's running on a 1080. So it's important before you start something up like that to consult these VR esports pros and say like, hey, I'm playing at home on this setup. I need this setup at your arena. And there's also like tracking. I assume you guys are using base station 2.0s for the much larger area. It's the new Vive. So yeah, there's going to be probably tech difficulties all over the place. I've never been to a VR even filming the Splitverse videos out in Missouri. there's always problems that pop up in VR, and they can cause some real delays when you have that many people playing VR in one space. So you just got to be careful. I would recommend consult the competitive VR community now so that you put your money in the right place.
To be fair, though, that also happens with normal games.
Oh, yeah.
In esports.
It's just another tier in
I
VR.
used to work in esports.
Have you tested it? Have you gotten like 12 mix setups going at once?
12 is incredibly difficult. We're still prototyping that. Up to 4, it doesn't really bug that much. And then, so we're still like...
In mixed or just
mixed,
playing?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Cool.
Well, mixed, it's a separate, thing to do mixed.
Right.
But for playing, obviously, like we talked to some of the guys at the Void and etc. and figured out.
Oh, the Void is sick. Yeah,
it's really awesome.
But
yeah,
cool.
But
when you said you want the game, you want people to play at home, right?
No, so we can talk about it. I don't want to take everyone's time for questions here, but if you guys want, we can talk right after. But basically, at home, we want them to interact. Like one of the concepts we're doing is where we have like 10 other players at home as zombies rushing like 4 guys, and it shows like who do they not like the most. And
that sounds rad.
Stuff like that.
Would love to chat after if you have time.
Yeah, please.
Cool.
Thanks.
We'll hang out.
Thank you,
I'm gonna actually get this guy since he's been waiting. Is that cool? Yeah. What's up, man?
Not much. Thank you. I was wondering, when you guys are streaming VR, how do you handle audio?
Oh my gosh!
Because obviously the headsets don't have the best microphones in them. So how do you handle that?
You're speaking to my soul right now.
At first, the first few months of doing VR, I would just get my AT20 mic, just my main mic, just put it on high gain and just put it on the side and just talk louder. It was so bad. And then eventually I just started using the Vive mic, and honestly, I feel like there's authenticity when you have a bad mic sometimes. I feel like it's not always the bad thing to have a bad mic, for VR, having a bad mic in VR is it gives you that as a viewer, it gives you that. I don't know how to explain it. It's like you're like an intercom or something. It's not perfect.
Yeah.
But if you're doing VR with a perfect quality mic, I don't know. It'd probably be good. I don't know, but but I just use the basic mic.
But if you're on a Vive, I've heard people have success with just putting some Scotch tape over the little mic hole, and that acts as like a pop. I don't know,
high-tech solution there.
Yeah. So
hey, that's VR in general.
I know it's
good.
It's worth trying though. Also, lavalier mics, the little mics that you can just strap on, they've gotten a little bit cheaper. You might be able to get a good mid-range mic for around $50
My buddy
to
tried
$100.
that and it was not that good.
It depends. We've had really good success with it, but it depends on how much you want to futz with it. I mean, at the end of the day, I agree the authenticity of just using the normal headset mic is usually fine, especially with the Vive. Actually, the mic on the Vive is not bad at all.
Yeah. I think the Oculus mic is better. The Vive Pro mic is really weird. It peaks really loud sometimes. I don't know why it does that.
Yeah, what I do is the Vive has an extra USB port in the top. You have to buy a USB cable from them for $10 because any USB lavalier that you plug into there is too fat. So you got to buy their stupid USB cable for $10, stick it out of the top of the headset. Then I take my lavalier, wrap it around the back of my deluxe audio strap because it's too long. And then the deluxe audio strap is a headset upgrade for those of you, $100 for the Vive. Highly recommend it. And then you take it down onto the headset, and then I have a little rubber cover on the front of my headset, and you just clip it onto there, and it's floating right here. So no matter which way you turn, you're still sounding okay, because that's the problem I had with, I use the mic gain strategy also, and I would occasionally punch my microphone, or I'd be facing the wrong way, so I'd sound like I was screaming down a hallway, versus when I'm facing at it, it sounded like I'm screaming in your ear. But that's one of the solutions. Is the Vive specifically has an extra USB port.
Do you use a virtual audio cable so you can use the built-in mic for in-game and then
I have my own mixer. I've also used Elgato Sound Capture to route audio around. So you can do any of that stuff.
Is that helpful?
I think so.
Yeah. Right on. I'll take it. How's it going?
Good. So I'm normally a PC streamer. Obviously, when I do the VR Pro, I do one PC because like you said, the audio, and you kind of talked about it just a little bit. So like you said, you had a special mic that clicks in, and then you route that to your streaming PC, and then how do you get the audio from? You said because they use the virtual cable, but you said you didn't use that. So kind of talk a little more about that double, because I do want to do a double PC.
Okay,
the one is fine, but then you just got to download OBS again. You got to download Streamlabs again. Then you got all that running on PC when I have my normal dual PC.
This is where I need a whiteboard. So what basically the audio comes out of my PC into my deluxe audio strap, my Vive, and then it would, using Elgato sound capture, split that. It's similar to virtual audio cable. It's just what I prefer to use. It splits that sound over my HDMI into the capture card in the streaming PC, and it's also going into my ears, and then my microphone goes out to that other PC, and then you're all good.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Right. Yeah, thanks. Last one?
Hi, so first off, hey Nikki, it's Suna.
Oh, what's up, dude? I knew you live around here.
Yeah.
What's going on? Naked Bunny, represent.
Anyways, I was just wondering about your guys' opinions on like VR for like piloting kind of games, sort of like Ace Combat or like mech games.
You know, I actually have, this is specific to him because he lives nearby me. I have a flight rig. I haven't opened it up yet, so if you want to try that out.
Oh, nice.
I'll lend it to you.
Wonderful.
Yeah. I haven't played it yet.
You can be prone to motion sickness, so you have to kind of watch out for that. But if you have your VR legs and some ginger chews, then they're fun. It's fun to like War Dust. You can fly planes, although you kind of turn and they kind of float. But
for streaming, I would recommend recording locally first and watching it back yourself. And if you enjoy watching it, then go ahead and stream it. But if it's like super bad to watch, or if you get sick, then your viewers will probably get sick too.
I feel like the motion sickness is something you could learn in VR to get much better too. Like the way more you play, the more it
goes away.
You.
Like adapt to it.
But we played Overdrive on PSVR, which is like a racing game that, and everyone in chat was like, I can't watch this.
Yeah.
I'm ill. So apparently it didn't translate well. So watch out for that. But
yeah, run it by a friend that gets motion sick. And if they get sick from it, oops, there you go.
Whoopsies. Cool. Well, thanks for all your questions. We'll be hanging around outside right after the panel. If you guys want to meet us, we'd love to chat about what you guys are doing for your VR streaming setups and that kind of thing. If you haven't checked out Vreal, we just put the map right up here. We're going to be on the show floor. We also have a meeting room, so definitely come by and check it out if you haven't. Yeah.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks. Appreciate you guys.
Nice work, everybody. You guys are